Test mic. One, two, test. So we will be glazing this guy's portrait right now, and we'll be taking a shortcut. Basically, instead of doing the yellow first and red, we'll do uh, we'll do the yellow, brown, and blue together. That's basically like a shortcut, but it's going to be the official Da Vinci style. And if you guys saw the Da Vinci study on the face of Jesus when he was working for, I think that's what he used for his mural, like the Last Supper. You can see that. You can see that it kind of looks like the photo, the portrait that I made for my grandmother. Kind of has that quality to it, like like watercolor, but finer, kind of thin, kind of drafty looking, but it's clean. It's clean. So yeah, you can absolutely do full glazing. Just you're just patient and you know the techniques, you can do it. So we'll be using ultramarine blue, yellow ochre. I have yellow ochre here. Um, Not particularly an expensive brand. This is like $4 brand for 200 ml. But you know, yellow ochre is cheap. So, oh, my nose is a bit stuffy. Let me blow it first. I'll just mute my audio for a while. Okay. So when it comes to glazing, if you don't want to make it look dirty or washed, you just add more and more layers, and every layer you have to gradually build it up like drawing charcoal. And it's important that your canvas is clean now and solid. Your canvas has textures on it, you might have problems since texture will kind of drop your brush strokes. Now, if you want to make it really clean, which I don't prefer, kind of looks I something that's too clean. Usually, not my style. Like since before, when I was young, my classmate used to tell me clean up, clean up my work. But I don't like it. I don't like the appearance of like so flat, so clean. Like I like my work to be have this like archaic uh, mystery to it, like it. So we'll be using reds too. We'll use red. Let me pour out some burnt umber yet. This Montmartre burnt umber, it's semi-transparent. Now you can use opaque pigments, but just be careful. Like some pigments should be like semi-transparent and transparent, and sometimes, since manufacturers like add fillers to the paint, which makes it like semi-opaque instead of being semi-transparent because of added like calcium carbonate, clay, kind of turns into this, and that's sometimes that's what makes your work dirty because of that. Here we're gonna use the ball ribbons, but I'm gonna pour it later. Maybe I'll just pour a little bit, just add a little bit of oil to it, make it like fast. So it's too fast, especially right now that here in the Philippines, it's so hot. Like in like you're in a bakery with the with the ovens running all around you. Okay, so I have my colors here. Basically, we need just red, yellow, blue, and the brown will help us like create super dark colors. So if you notice Da Vinci's work, these sections here, like mid-tones that are in the light, exposed in the light, because this is the light area, right? Exposed in the light, this should be red. Little bit desaturated red. He would paint this red here. Anything that is in the light, he would color it red. Anything that has like close to the darkest shadows, he would color it blue. And then mix brown to it, making it black. So to do this, well, we're gonna do. I'm gonna do. Maybe I can still use it here because I'm working on his portrait last night and it's still wet. In using ultramarine for. So what he does is basically, when you're using like soft pastels portrait, old style, to teach you that. That's what he's doing. Really. Okay, what I'm gonna do right now is just see what we can do. Same in this. So what blue does help you create like mid mid tone to the shadow, mid tone to everything. It's if you add it to the red, it darken your red without using the brown. Of course, since we have already a bluish shadow here. Our blues here are just gonna help us create that glow, bluish glow on his paint. Not obvious, you don't see it, but at the right light angle, there. So what I do usually is, you paint too thickly, that's what's going to uh, just create a mess. But just a matter of doing the best you can to even out the paint. Just wet it enough like this. Not really thick, it's thin, because we already have this gray here below. You don't have to worry too much. So yeah, again, you can color everything. You have to know how to out your colors and be patient. Like, you're gonna have to come back to it later, paint over it, patch up a few things if you wanna get like super clean. But I didn't encounter any problem. If your canvas is too absorbent though, it's gonna create problems for you. And but it's not, for me it's not a problem because I really like the kind of watercolor effect that using oil paint. You can like choose where to even things out, where to create texture and stuff. But for watercolor, you're kind of at the mercy of your amount of paint on your brush. Kind of has this random element to it. But with oil paint, it's up to you. If you're having problems with certain areas, like say, it means that there's not an even absorbency in your canvas. So the best thing about that, to like layer a layer of oil, or I use liquid, so I just layer it with liquid so that evens out canvas. And there will be a minimal amount of like uh, difference in the absorbency of surface. Helps you create balance glazing. So like here, for example, right here, you want to darken that background, right? Supposed to be, this photo is it was in the dark area, merging darkness. I'm seeing a problem here right now. I think I forgot to paint that in there. So to fix that, I'm gonna have to dull this down. Okay. Oh, hi, Ochiha Sasuke. Hello. Hope you're having a good day. Basically, uh, Liquin will help you a lot. Allows you to layer. Now, for problems like this, you can actually it. And that's another advantage of filling your canvas. Liquin, like a layer of liquin, it allows you to erase entire work. For example, if this one doesn't work out, just erase it by using a lint-free cloth, some turpentine, just delete there. So it's a slow process, and not everybody has the patience for it. You know, the main thing to keep in mind though is when you're working with glazing, there's a limit to the amount of paint that you can glaze canvas. Amount of uh, not really paint but liquid material on your canvas while you're working on. For example, me here, just I can't really layer on top of that, right? And expect like to have a different layer. So what happens is if you put more paint than liquid, like for example here, have more paint than liquid. When I brush that off, that gonna put more paint on it, and you're gonna have to be lighter and trying to even it out. And this is where the brushes like like this will come into play. By doing this, you can like even out color. Basically, this one is like black now. I can I can change this, by adding mixing on my palette like more paint than liquid. I can just have more color there. The truth is, happening is I'm not layering on here another, more paint. I'm actually rubbing it off because there's just enough. There's only so much liquid I can place here top, right? So you can't expect to have like thick of a water or like particles on top of that. That's why you're gonna have to come back to it, paint over it, thicken to thick color. Or you can just add like more paint and less liquid. That's going to be a different issue. Example here, mix added. I'm using a different brush to blend it simply because the most efficient way I found, especially when working on, call it acrylic, the best way to create like smooth transition. What I like about this is, I don't know, of it, of the effect it has, watercolor kind of weird. You know, I also like the Prima technique, but my heart is always kind of comes back to the house. Spread it out, not even kind of pulling paint from this area, transferring it here. Just okay, so here this one is a little bit bluish here. You can see this one is brownish with black. Now, looks dirty right now. Gonna be fine. Leonardo kind of, what he did was for the background, painted white. Still the same thing. So the advantage again, liquid is you can come back to it tomorrow, layer more. But for me, it kind of takes like days, especially if I'm rubbing like this. I want to be sure that I'm not pulling up paint underneath. So best practice, as much as I've my experience is, start with painting the outlines, so to speak, quote unquote, air quote. You're really just painting the shadow, your blue. One downside to this, you're using liquid, is you can't come back to it while you're working. For a few minutes, I can't come back here. I can, but gonna disturb it. So we'll try red right now. We'll mix red. Ooh, election time. We have all of this weird stuff. So I'm gonna mix a little bit of blue, my red, a little bit of yellow. It's gonna be like a dark, gloomy red, orangey kind. Oh, I think I are twin that. Like I said before, red. They say red is low value. Doesn't actually the shadows. And the last thing that shadows Fury, low energy, Hume, right there. It's still beaming right there. But it's just like oh dark. Careful. Keep it in the shadows here. Basically a shadow. This area actually is a little bit grayish, but we're not gonna go that far right now. You can just add more yellow than red. Make it gonna be thin color. Fill that in. I don't know. I've been thinking like few days. Why do I like quote unquote dirty looking paintings? I want to check this on the phone because here, this area here looks brighter. Camera here, weird. So this underpainting been here for like year, so it has like gotten like dust here. Should have washed it, but you know how it is. This kind of looks dirty on camera. So let me check my phone to see how it looks like on camera. Because here in real life, I don't see it. Kind of hard. Kind of looks dirty. Maybe it's because of the camera contrast. Let's see. We'll see. Want food? That's one food. So food. Small snack. You mean? Yeah. You know how cats are. When you're doing something, they get worried, start looking for attention. Let me check how it looks like live. I can't see it. Maybe it's on my because of my monitor. Mm, look at it now. I think it's fine. It's the camera. I'll just lower. Maybe I'll try lowering the contrast because you see all that. Just the contrast a little bit. Lower the light compensation. I already have brightness. Light comp. Sure. Mm, lower the exposure brightness. That's better. To work it up. It's still there, so it's really there. Making excuses. Ooh. Okay. So here on top of the head, usually it's a little bit greenish here. It's not going to be the same red that we have here. Right? Use add some. Basically, you don't need to do the layering. Do just remember to add the right amounts of yellow ochre, right amounts of blue. But it's important that do that process first because that's the only way you're actually breaking down the layers through that. So it's the way you to understand how much yellow is actually in a spot. It tones how much yellow is there. Shadows, how much yellow is there in the light, in the highlight, how much yellow. The kind of weird right now, but add more a little bit orangey. So here area, it's going to be bluish. So having this, have this blue with yellow with red. We're gonna add more blues to them. That's going to darken it, right? So to lighten it up, we'll add more yellow. What's gonna happen is we're gonna have this dead yellow color that if we apply it thinly by adding more liquid to it, gonna help us get this yellowish tone in here. We can then mix with red. Here, the mistake. Here you're gonna lose the shadow because we didn't do that first. We should be doing first. Not a problem. Mix a blue here, just same brush. Get some more blues. All right. We should be adding more red here now. We can do it later. I forgot how the shadow looks like. Look for another blending brush here. Then this. You just bounce on it like this. Thin it out evenly. Some artists find this difficult, but really. So now it's just a blue color here. What we need is more reds. Let's add the red and yellow back into that. Now that we have that, add it in. That's too thick. Okay. Send it. Now there's one trick that people have been saying. Leave it out. Don't don't paint on it. Keep it like gray. That's fine. Depends on your lighting. The lighting situation of your painting. But for me right now, this is like everything is in shadow. This is basically like Leonardo's favorite lighting. Everything is in shadow. The face is just emerging. Favorite thing. Let me wash my brush. I have this brush washer, Chinese brand, really good. Uh, Brush cleaning liquid. I don't want to mix it onto my paint, so after I wash my brush, I wash it again in clean, uh, like turpentine, just to, So what we're gonna do right here right now, use the brown now, thin layer of it, mix it with our orange, and start working on it here. Kinda looks weird, right? If I can remember it correctly, there's a light here hitting his side of his face here, consuming this. Let me think about this. Gonna mix it badly. Well, it's wet. Leonardo said, make your sfumato while you paint. But obviously it's dry right now. I'm scraping off colors. Uh, Bleeding, but scared of parts here. Now you might say this looks weird, kind of disjointed, right? That's because simply because there's no brown here, right? It looks so red. There's no yellow. So what we're gonna do? Mix a thin brown, burnt umber. Mixed it down there. Add it down there. Basically pulling paint now. This liquid should like still be workable for a few hours since it's so warm here in the Philippines. Kind of like working acrylic. It's okay. You can just erase. It doesn't work out. That's the best part. Like, oh, that pulled it off. So it's like, yeah, when you're painting with acrylic, you're using like a low drying medium for your acrylic. Then you start working over parts that are already a little bit like just set in. It's not dry, but it just like set in. Okay? So it's not workable now. I want to force this. You can always come back to it like tomorrow layer. That's the benefit. Glazing is we're cheating a little bit, but can't really get away with it too much. But if you're using like linseed oil, you don't want to use linseed oil simply because it's gonna take like forever to dry. So now we're here in the topmost part here. I'm gonna use a thin orange color, like a blood color. I'm gonna thin it so much I can spread it like wild here. I know people don't understand why Da Vinci hatches drawing. Can't reconcile that. It's also hatching glazing. But I think that's just you're working with drawings with hatch. I think when you start painting, you're gonna hatch. It's not fair. I think there's a problem with my camera because I can't see yellow well. And I read somewhere that it's that's one quality of a good camera when it can like display capture yellow. That's a good camera. Can capture like good amounts of yellow. Some cameras, the webcam, amazing. So some cameras like phone cameras, webcams like compensate for this by like turning your image greenish yellowish color. Crazy. So here I'm gonna add more reds. Shadow meets. I think my red is too red. Not even almost like crimson red. Best red to use here is like vermilion red, yellow orange, red orange. We can always go back to finishing layer, balance this out tomorrow time. So here the sections here, really here are reddish, especially when you're drinking. I'm just gonna mimic that, add more red. One is with this part. See here, it's red. So again, one uh, lesson again that you learn while doing this glazing, like the amount of paint, how thin your paint is on your palette, and when you apply it correctly, it's going to become even thinner. So, like, say, the color in my palette is this color. Actually, if you look at it, you can see thin part shows you this color. So you can. The point is, the more you do it, the more you understand how thin makes it. But you don't have to worry about that. You can start by super thin, and you'll understand. But it's not a problem. Just always wipe it off. But to have that opportunity, it's best to like again layer it frequent. So there are mistakes here. Not gonna shy away from it, but part here, this is too dark. So if I add more paint to it, it's not gonna help. So either you do it before glaze, add, or we can erase it by adding white. Or just keep that as the base. I'll just darken everything. So they say you feel like people don't like the glaze because it's affected. Actually, it's not. You can actually do whatever you want. You can paint this into different tonal colors everywhere. It's up to you. I think the limitation comes from I'm using this by the way as a makeup sponge. You can apply it like that, like crazy stuff like that. Make it look textury and parts here. See, oh, I need it greener here, so I'm gonna add more blue. So to that part there, make it like green, a little bit green. Now blue is going to be very noticeable on the light side, even if you're using just a small part of it, small amount of it, it's gonna be noticeable. generally blue doesn't belong with the light. Always can hint at it at the shadows here. That's a benefit of the good thing about glazing is you don't have to do all of this right now. I don't have to paint bright colors right now. The basic flat color enough, then I can like on. Then if you're doing like strict glazing, like you don't white to it later on, you know, it right now. So again, if I'm working on here, what's the use of all these shadows, right? If do I add more blues, side balance? I don't have the reference. This photo, I don't have it. Lost it. I'm too lazy to find it. Gonna wing it. Basically, if you're painting here, alla prima, gonna use like a brown with red. The same thing, basically. You know, Leonardo is very careful with his under. Don't just you don't wanna just paint on top of a gray dye. Didn't like dye actually. He used like a first layer color. So his first layer is actually colored, but more in the like dead color, like the colors of when there's no light. I made a portrait for myself. I used red ochre for the shadows, and not really good. And of course, when you're painting like this, doing here, the aim is not to be like realistic photorealism. Aim is not to create photorealism, but basically, if you want to capture like photorealist colors, you're gonna have to use lots of white stuff. So basically, the height, this technique, like painting Baroque paintings, like those white people. Now this part here should be pink. Since we're not gonna use white, we can use thin layer of red. mark that. Basically, it's not pink. Look at it. Real life, oh, some reds in it, and just our brains combine it to a pink, but here it's usually bluish. Look at photos. Kind of coming together, getting there. Don't worry too much about it. Doesn't look right now. That's okay. Because in reality, working towards it. In my first attempt of this, and I just jumped in. I ended up making some at a Renaissance type, Baroque style, because I used white. And using the red ochre, I used the red ochre that is thick, so it kinda forced me like continue using white. So again, some people say that this painting is gonna look dirty. I mean, it doesn't. So I'm gonna mix more browns here with blue for the hair, but I'm not gonna just keep it red. I'm gonna add more red to it. So your brown plus black, your brown plus blue, gonna create this like dark blue. When you add red to it, bring back the life, gonna turn into this brownish color, reddish brownish color. So right now it's purplish. It looks purplish, right? Gonna use that for here to unify everything in the same context. Problem is this here. Gonna work on it off screen time. Right now, here, brownish hair. This one is like a small amount of liquid, so spread it out. Gonna be more of the paint on here. You're gonna follow like grain. It's no excuse. It's not about like filling in the space with color. No, you can do it like that, but you're gonna want to do more. Understand that underpaint one, it doesn't have to dictate everything. Right here, you're just gonna spread. You wanna like you want to like spread the color. I wanna self-contain them like this. Look, but right now I'm just leaving it like this so I can like guess this one is set. Right? Wanna turn this up maybe because I can see it right now. There's like a backlight here, a low light, like coloring lighting up here his face. What time is it? Back. It's still gonna look dull even if there is color. There's no variety. Single color. You can add more. That's obviously gonna ruin the effect because you're doing it not in layers. Kind of cheating here. It's not the same if you work in layers, but it's close. You can actually like achieve much here, then just do more later. Again, like you want in the darkness, add blue and brown, and in the light, it's yellow, white, and if you want skin, then it's reddish, ish. Depends on the ethnicity. So my brush has some browns in it. Oh, part is already set. Can't really do that. Just see if we can come back to it. Okay, so again, so far, now looking at it, you can see it's a bit light, commit too much. Okay, some colors here now. Bluish, in the eye, you know, reddish yellow here. Mm. Again, I'm feeding all of this. Everything should be spreading out. And if you're planning to practice this with acrylic, just thinking, it's going to be faster, you can layer more. Just my advice is no. I tried it. You can do it harder. Harder to do. I really want to touch up part, but not right now. Okay, so we have reds, yellows, blues. Here we can get the effect on the hair. See it. See those that have been touched by the blue, red, compared to the gray of the paper. On paper, it actually looks like bluish, a little bit of yellow, and the effect looks better here because this one was like black, white, and the yellow oil up. You can see here, you can actually just paint this hair right now. I'm gonna do it later. For me, it's advisable to add it first. That the colors of the skin we're gonna reflect onto that hair. It's gonna look better. Right now, it kind of looks funny over this. Looks funny when you can see the over it over the grape. You can see it. Kind of looks thin, washed out, and we can always like make it look more solid, adding white here. And that's what people usually do. And I'm debating want to do that or not. Maybe we're gonna have to do that because uh, under painting here is not white, not yellow. I want that underpainting there to be yellow. If I add yellow now, it's gonna look dead because there's gray down there. Here, for now, I really want to remove this dark shadow here because I want this to be like red, orange. I don't want that there. Maybe we can use like dark yellow, but it's gonna work. See, that's what I'm talking about. If I add yellow here now, it's gonna be like this, the dead yellow. Again, red is some underpainting of gray or black. Quickly, 7. Gonna become dark quickly. Wish I have the reference. I want to see if his eye bags are really this thick. I don't. Looking at this, kinda kinda is huge swollen eye. That's normal for I think it's especially for girls that have. So skin color. If you wanna paint skin color with white, not layered like this. If you have burnt sienna, just add white, yellow. And you can add blue to it to desaturate it. Have your skin tone. That's for lighter color. For black skin. To be honest, I haven't really studied black skin yet. I really don't like to paint dark skin. Uh, it's not a racial thing. It's like uh, I'm gonna paint them lighter at dark skin because I don't see a lot of context that really brings out dark skin. Like there's this painting by Argent about this Arab man That's not really black. That's brown. For black skin tones, they really look nice in charcoal paintings. I don't know. I haven't really thought about. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Maybe I should look into that. This now it has piqued my interest. Thought, but I thought about it a while back. I have lots of friends on Facebook that are dark, and then they make drawings their own place for painting dark skinned people. Uh, I'm also looking at here when I'm riding a jeepney. I look at people with dark skin. And it's very common here. It's not really just brown, dirty, dirty brown, like bluish. There's bluish in it. There's like and they pick up a lot of reflection from the environment light, and if it's city, it's gonna make your skin like look dirty. You have that. There's a dark skin that is a bit uh, a little less dirty looking. I haven't seen like person here country. Not common. I don't see a lot. Dark skin in the right context makes it beautiful to look at in its own way, right? I haven't tried that. I might look it up now, see what people have done regarding that. Here I should stop adding more red here. Again, some artists gonna say that looks dirty, washed out stuff. And in the past, when I was younger, I was in high school and I was drawing on the canteen in the canteen. Then one of my friends came to me and said, like, "Oh, your lines are too messy." Like because when I draw, I like to repeat lines. I like the like hatching, but it follows the contour, so it's just a single line here. It's people think that that's different. So to them, my friend wants just a single line. Said he told me just to draw the line, like one line. Don't like mess it up with all of these lines. But I really don't like that. Kind of looks weird for some. It looks like a mistake for some, for many, for all maybe. They're gonna say like this is the wrong way to draw a line. You shouldn't draw like this. You shouldn't paint like this. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. Why? Well, it's simple. The answer to the why because those who are saying it, they have a goal. They have a vision of what an image should look like, right? And you have your own vision of what an image should look like. So why it seems wrong to them because they're projecting, like if they're working on what you're doing. I'm just cleaning my brush, by the way. So if they're doing it, they wouldn't do it that way because they have a vision. They have an idea how something should. Yes, and one last tip is if you stop for the day, make sure that the edges here are light. Okay, colors on that area should be lighter, so you can like continue filling in on that next time. You won't meet like hard something hard. Fade it out. Finger this, fade out the edge. I think I'm gonna need to work on this here later. I forgot that part. Maybe let's pretend that this is a dark area here. Let's just paint it all black. I'm still gonna have to work on it. If we glaze on this, the darks still gonna appear lighter and duller. Still gonna have to paint on that. Anyway, that's it from me for now, and I hope like I've shared a few tips useful, encourage you to try this. Again, the idea is first uh start with your grisaille, but then for areas that are in the light like this in the light, don't leave it here, so just add the white to fade it out. This one I work on the I just added a few small amount of white. Shouldn't be like that. Should actually be faded out so that you can like if you add orange like this, it's not gonna become too dark. I think I want to touch this. I want to remove some colors here. I think you just leave it, and I will just focus on parts next time. One I think comes from the shading. Because the shading was like this, right? Kind of broken. We'll just fix. Kind of looks orange right now. That's the point. By adding blues and browns here later, gonna help us round this thing up, turn it into a Da Vinci. Anyway, that's it for me for now, and thanks for dropping by. Toodaloo.